Yeah, I got your stream. I just refreshed it. Let me see.
Oh, wait for it.
And
let me know when you see me up there.
There we go.
Okay, turn down that part. Hi guys, I'm here. I thought I was streaming for the last 11 minutes. I've been talking into the ether because YouTube told me my stream was good and I was up. So I apologize for that. Hey, welcome to the Video Calling Show. We'll just do this and fast forward. Stay with us. We'll get to our first guest in just a second. Nope. Oh, the wonders of today's technology. Well, guys, I apologize. I was literally talking for 10 minutes to myself. And of course, Juliet and David heard me, but I had no idea. I had no idea. So I'm going to get right into our first guest. We can't even go back to the tape. Oh, well, that's fine. We don't need to hear about my job history. How are you this evening, Juliet Miranda?
I am doing amazing. How are you? It's so great to be talking to you finally.
Yes, and it's great to be talking to you. I've been better, but but that's only because of the technological snafu I just went through.
It happens to all of us. It does.
Oh yeah. Can't believe that. Well, I should have known, I was asking the chat. They weren't saying anything to me. And I thought they can be kind of a fun bunch. So I thought maybe they were pulling my leg. Oh, this is going to be fun. I get to spell the unwritable rant. So bear with me here. But well, how are you this evening?
I'm amazing. It's a Tuesday night. It is my first night with a cigar of the season. I'm really excited about this. I always enjoy the first and last cigar the most.
Ah, yes. What are we smoking tonight?
Arturo Fuentes.
Oh, one of my favorites.
Yes. Yeah. David, my producer, picked it out for me. He knows more about cigars than I do, and I'm loving this.
I love a woman who will take a stogie, man. And
whiskey.
And that wasn't a sexual innuendo at all. So
I would never have assumed. Why would you even bring that up?
I don't know. I mean, is it too late to bring up a Clinton joke? Really?
No, have at it.
I already did and it flopped. So I'm gonna go with that. So yeah, I've been wanting you on the show for a long time. David's been on several times, both one-on-one and in panels. And I've told him over and over, and he might have told you as well, that I'm a huge fan of your podcast. And it is the only podcast that I listen to. I'm not ashamed to admit. So kudos. It's so well done.
Oh, I really appreciate that. Thank you. I mean, I put a lot of work, a lot of writing into making it, sound and the stories sound as good as they can. And I know David is an incredible editor, so I love to hear that. Yeah,
well, you're a fantastic storyteller, I must say, and I'm going to continue to stroke you on this because it really is fun. Of course, everyone in the back of their mind is wondering how much is factual and how much is embellished, and you don't have to say. Because it's sometimes the mystique is very important. I get it. So,
I'll tell you, the only thing I really make up are the names of the people. They're all true people. It's all true experiences. These are things that have really happened to me through the course of my life. I just change names and a little bit of the details to make sure that it doesn't come back to haunt me or anybody else.
Good plan. Very good plan. Very good plan. Well, that's cool. That means you've lived already, and you're still young comparatively, a pretty adventurous life.
Well, I'm in my 40s, and I started writing about musicians when I was 14. So it's a lot of writing.
Now, would you consider yourself? I know, Crazy Town is your friend's name. What? Were you guys, maybe because I haven't listened to some of the earlier stuff, would you have considered yourself groupies of sorts or just, dating members of bands?
Oh, yeah, no, I always considered myself to be a groupie, but just slightly better than the rest of them. Only because I found a different way in. I didn't necessarily use sex as my way in. I used writing as my way in. So
Oh.
that was how I scored my first band interview, was posing as a rock journalist. And I actually wrote it up and it got published. And from there, I'm like, well, hey, this is working out great for all of us. I get to share my feelings about music and interview bands, and the sex just kind of came after the fact.
That is too cool. That is too cool. What a creative way to go into that. Now, are you classically trained in writing? Did you go to school for it, or is it something you just picked up?
I am. I started writing when I was just a kid. It's something that's always come naturally to me, that I've always loved. And now it's made me into a great storyteller. I love writing. I love Hemingway and Bukowski and Fitzgerald. It's who I am.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, Patty says you do not look like you're in your 40s, and I would have to agree with that, Patty. Absolutely.
Mid 40s.
Mid
It's
40s.
smoky.
High class of groupie is what Ed says.
I like to hear that. Thank you.
Well, I mean, it is, right? I mean, if you're not throwing yourselves, which I would consider probably the lower class of groupie, right? And I don't say that in a disparaging way as a as a musician myself, although my entire musical career I was married, but there are a place for those groupies as well on both sides. But
Absolutely. I mean, if you've ever seen Almost Famous, I mean, a lot of these girls, they inspired the music. They take these guys out on their own personal journey. It's an entire ecosystem of music and love. It all comes together.
yeah. Speaking of which, what would be your favorite groupie song? Because there've been several written about groupies.
Gosh, I don't even know if I could really name one. I've never really thought of groupie songs
No?
as a thing. I mean, maybe Maggie May, but
Yeah.
it's not something I've ever really considered.
The only reason I say that is because one of the most well-known ones would be, and I don't even think she considers herself a groupie, but Plastercaster by Kiss. You remember that?
Sure, Cynthia Plastercaster.
Yes.
Talk about the greatest, crazy groupie gig on the planet. I mean, just making those casts. I mean, she had an in. Now that is a groupie who's slightly better than the rest.
Well, she had a niche, right? She had a hook.
She did. Yeah, I just write. She had a serious art form.
Yes. And I think she continues to display it to this day, which
Right? I mean, Frank Zappa. I mean, amazing people. She's pretty cool.
yeah. I've read a lot of her stuff, and only because of the song actually got me interested. I thought, I'd like to know a little bit more about her. So
I would too. I haven't really. I mean, I've read "I'm with the Band" by Pamela DeBar. I've read all the other groupie books, and she's always mentioned in them, but I really don't know a whole lot about her personally.
yeah. But what a fascinating thing, right? But I want to talk more about your podcast. How did you get started with that? I know you're right, but what made you turn that into, for lack of a better term, today's audiobook?
Well, so like I said, I've always been a writer, and I published a book back in 2009 about some of my experiences working in the music industry, and the book did great. I went on a book tour, and I was promoted through Barnes and Noble, but for a few years in between that and the start of the podcast, I was just kind of floundering. It became obvious that people weren't really reading, and I still had a ton of stories that I wanted to tell. And one day, my guy and I are just sitting out on the driveway, and we're listening to the Bill Burr podcast. He's a comedian and just one of my favorite podcasters and comedians on the planet. And I'm listening to it, and I don't know, something just hit me. And I said, wow, I can do this. I mean, this is cool. I can tell stories, and I can do this. And David, who is a former musician himself, he's got a bunch of recording gear in the house. He said, well, let's make it happen. Let's try it out. And this was about 4 years ago, and it came together. It was a whim, and it worked out really well.
Yeah, and the most important thing is you're doing something you really love. Twice, actually. You get to write it, and then you get to portray it. That's awesome.
Actually, the podcast, I kind of do It's a combination. It's part ad lib and it's part outline. So I spend a couple of days outlining the stories I want to tell and mapping out some lines and everything. But for the most part, it's kind of, off the cuff.
Really? Oh, that's even better. That means you're a great storyteller as well, off the cuff.
I'm very well rehearsed. I will give you that much.
Okay. That explains a lot. Because it does sound. I mean, it sounds really polished, and I know David's probably doing a lot of the editing on the backside as well. Is that right? Or is
yeah. David makes an amazing producer. I would never trust anybody else. I mean, and in case your listeners don't know, David and I are married. So David knows my voice and he knows the stories that I have in my head and that I want to tell. And he knows how to really bring out the best in what I do.
Well, the sound is great too. Do you guys have an in-home studio, or do you have a studio? Do you?
We've built an entire podcast studio out of a spare bedroom. It started in a pillow fort, essentially. We kind of just built out a little nook in our area and lined it up with blankets and everything. And now we've built it out so that it's soundproofed, and we have great gear. I couldn't begin to tell you what kind of gear we have because that's not my area, but David would be happy to expound on that. He knows all the good stuff.
Well, next time he's on, I'll pick his brain on that one.
You're gonna have to. Yeah, it's a microphone and stuff.
Well, you don't have to worry about it. You got to worry about your story, especially if you're ad-libbing. So
right, that's my job.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you guys aren't familiar with Julia's channel, and I know most of my group has seen this site before. This is actually more centered around your bourbon reviews, your soaked life, and celebrity interviews, which are as exciting to me. I've watched the last two, the Kansas lead singer, and I always forget his name. What was his name? The lead singer from Kansas?
Ron Platt.
And of course, Joe Bob Briggs, which I missed the live stream. That was your first live stream ever. I missed watching it live. That sucked, but.
Joe Bob Briggs. That was an interview that's come from where I began. I mean, my dad and I used to stay up late when I was like 8, 9 years old, and we would watch Joe Bob on TMC. And he's just been a part of my life, and I love horror movies. And it was so cool to sit down with him and just meet him in person and talk to him. It was an incredible experience. I'm so glad I got to do that.
Yeah, he looked like he was a great guest. No shortage of stories coming from that guy, right?
Not at all. What I didn't get to touch on that I would have loved to is that he's actually been nominated for a Pulitzer Prize. He's not just a horror movie critic. The man is a writer.
Oh, wow.
He went to Vanderbilt University. He got his start in sports writing. He was nominated for the Pulitzer for his coverage of 9/11. So he's an incredible writer just as himself.
Wow. That's very cool. And of course, that just goes into you've had no shortage of great guests in addition to him. Mike Rowe. Yeah. What was Mike Rowe? I didn't get to watch that one. I want to watch it now. But Mike Rowe, how did that go?
Mike Rowe was the scariest interview I've ever done. The man is so smart. He's now on CNN, but he got to start doing, dirty jobs. And you could listen to the man read the phone book. He just has a great voice. He's so smart. And I went into such a preparation mode when I went into the interview. I wanted to make sure that I could match that level. But it turned out great. He was so nice. He has some great stories. He talks about writing a podcast while sitting on the toilet. It was a blast talking to him.
Oh, I can only imagine. I've watched a lot of his stuff, and he seems like the most personable guy that you'd ever, really, as a celebrity, that you'd ever want to see.
He is, absolutely, and just so welcoming. You always go in an interview and you never know what the person's going to be like, if they're going to be friendly, if they're going to open up to you. And he was gracious right from the start.
And you, of course, have several other wonderful folks in here. I see Eric Roberts.
I do.
Yeah.
And those are just
Leah Thompson. How did I miss Leah Thompson? Oh, I so had a thing for Leah in the early days. But before, before Back to the Future. Oh man, I got to go back and watch that one now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, how are you hooking up with these folks? Is it people you know, people that know those people, or?
Not at all. No, David, my producer, reaches out to either their publicists or their management, and if they have something that they're interested in promoting,
Hmm,
then we work up a pitch. You know, we'll use the podcast or the YouTube channel as a platform for them to talk about whatever projects they have going on.
very cool. Very cool. Hey guys, if you've got any questions for Juliet, by all means, throw them in the chat and make sure that you tag me so I can see them. Real,
And speaking of celebrities, so we were teasing when we had you offline about somebody who had liked one of your recent posts on Twitter,
yes.
Tawny Katayan.
Oh,
Yeah, if you'll recall, we posted a video of her talking to me about, you know, sliding across the hood of a car. She's got this. We had a dialogue going back and forth, and she actually saw your tweet to her, and like that, she liked some other stuff. So I just thought you'd get a kick out of hearing about that.
I do get a kick hearing that. Her actually replying to you seemed as much as a surprise, wasn't it?
You know, David arranged it. I don't know how he does some of these things. He just knows I'm a huge Tawny fan, and he, you know, talked to her about the podcast, so she recorded a little thing for us.
Well, let's be real. You two could be sisters.
We could. Yeah, obviously I've taken a little bit of a, you know, thing from her.
Probably a little bit distant too, because and I don't want to disparage Tawny at all, but she's got to be maybe in her 60s, early 60s,
No,
late
I don't think
50s.
she's quite that old. I think when she was in the White Snake videos, she was probably in her 20s.
Okay, so she's probably got about 5 years on me. She's probably coming close to 60 then.
Probably right around there.
Yeah. But oh boy, that video, and I meant every word of it. I mean, it did launch 1,000 blanks, but
Who doesn't love Tawny Katayan, really, though? I mean, she
yeah.
was the hottest groupie of the 80s.
Oh man, was she ever? Was she ever? That's so cool that she replied to that tweet or liked it. I'm sorry. That is cool. And now I'm embarrassed.
Oh,
No, not really. I'm very, very pleased. I'd love to have her on the show as well. Wouldn't that be fun if you two were on and we could compare, side by side? That would be awesome.
I could trade notes on
Oh yeah.
musicians.
Oh, that would be fun. I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
I would put one of you on this side and the other one on the other side, and I just sit back and talk as a, in the cloud.
Yeah, I don't know if we can actually put that out there. I don't know if either of us want all that out there, because when I do my podcast, I change names.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you guys would keep it clean. And
One of
um,
us.
yeah. Well, we just got to keep the alcohol out of it. Speaking of alcohol, and going back to your site, you are all about the bourbon, and I almost forgot to ask you about this because I'm a fan, but I don't know as much as I want to know about good bourbons.
Well,
Um,
bourbon is, gosh, in a weird sort of way, it's been a part of my life since birth,
oh
and
yeah,
I'll tell you why. My parents were very old school when it comes to child rearing, and when I was teething, they actually used to rub a little bit of bourbon on my bottle to like numb my gums. So I joke that this is, it's inherent, it's ingrained. That I love bourbon, but I do, and I love talking about it. I love tasting it and drinking it, and that's why we started the YouTube channel, was so that I could kind of expand on the flavors and the profiles and what I like to drink.
very cool, very cool. What what would be a good mid-level bourbon? Because I can't take the Wild Turkeys, the Jim Beams, the Canadian Clubs, all that garbage. What would be? Recently I just bought some Woodford Reserve, and I dig that, but I don't know where that lands on the scale.
Let me ask you this: what
Sure.
kind of flavors do you like? What do you normally drink when you don't drink something like bourbon?
Porters. I like a really dark, heavy beer.
Like a dark, heavy beer,
Hmm.
okay? And if you were to drink a mixed cocktail, what would you order?
Oh, I never do. unless I'm on vacation, like in Aruba.
It
Um,
would be like a tropical drink.
it might be, but you know, I just don't order mixed drinks at all.
So when you drink a dark beer, what is it that you like? Is it the bitter flavor that you like? Is it the heaviness?
I like the heaviness. I like a smoky finish, like a good bourbon, because you know you can get some really nice porters to just knock your socks off in that direction. And yeah, but I do like I don't like too much bitterness in a beer, but it's okay if it's got a nice burn in a bourbon, of course.
So you're drinking the Woodford and you like the Woodford.
Yeah, it's decent. I mean, it's a great sipping whiskey, sure.
Okay, so you want something. So are you lacking a sweetness or are you lacking a spiciness to your bourbon?
Uh not sweetness because I don't really go for the sweet anything, especially a beer. But um I don't know. I want to taste the barrel. You know what I
You
mean?
want
Does that make
to taste
sense?
the barrel. Okay,
Yeah.
no, it absolutely makes sense. So what you want is something that's going to be a little bit more aged. What I would suggest is Russell's Reserve 10-year bourbon.
Shit, now I got to write that down.
Now, you're going to be surprised to learn that this is actually from the Wild Turkey family.
I wouldn't, because I used to like wild turkey when I was young and dumb.
Well, you know what? Wild Turkey is actually an excellent bourbon if you drink it right.
I was right.
It's a very spicy bourbon, and I think that's kind of what people respond to when they hear Wild Turkey. They go, "Ooh, ow!" It burns.
Mhm.
But if you drink it with a little bit of ice, it kind of mellows it out. But the Russell's Reserve 10-year has been aged 10 years, so you're going to get a little bit more oakiness out of it. It's going to mellow out the spice, but you're going to get a really well-rounded flavor out of it.
Awesome, awesome. I'm definitely going to try that. I love getting suggestions on bourbons.
And
Love it.
it's totally reasonably priced. It's maybe like $40 a bottle.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It beats the Canadian Club.
Oh, yes. Oh, every day, every day.
And I don't want to go to jail again. Long story. Oh man. Wisco Style wants me to ask you that if you get YouTube famous, can he come on the podcast?
I have no idea if I'm going to get YouTube famous. I don't even know what that is, but if I do, we'll absolutely make you a part of it.
Yeah, that's the measure. It's the metric there. We got to figure out what is absolutely famous.
And Wisco's already had his own success anyway. I mean, he's got a video that is booming right now.
Yes. Yes. Did you? I think he chatted in another live stream we were in that he grew 1,500 subs. No, it was in 15 days. How many subs, Wisco, when you get a chance in 15 days, did you just post? It was just extraordinary.
Yeah,
Extraordinary.
that's incredible. I mean, well done, right?
Yeah, yeah. And now he's doing the right thing. He's putting out some great content afterwards. If you guys get a chance, watch his "If Donald Trump Was from Wisconsin" video. That is killer. Yeah, 1,515 days. Jesus, that's awesome. Oh, she's 58, says Jim from Above and Beyond Drones. Tawny is 58 nowadays.
Oh, see, we were like right there, right there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I had her pegged in the 60s, and I don't know why. Maybe it was because when I did lust after, early years for me, she seemed older. You know what I mean? I was trying to do the math from there, and then ever.
Unattainable.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's kind of like watching the Brady Bunch. For you, it was probably a little bit different, but for me, they always seemed like they were much older, and it turns out they were all born around my year.
No, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
Really strange. Hello, Lane. How are you? Team Enigma. He says he drinks his orange juice on the rocks.
Ooh.
Well done. Well done. He's a younger guy. He's not going to have any bourbon. Busy little house. I don't know if I've ever seen you in here. Welcome to the show. Have I missed anyone else? Mike Durr Digest Magazine. Welcome from all of us. Ghana. How you doing? Sorry, I just want to make sure that I catch all these folks. Juliet, American Gold Prospectors. Welcome to the show. Oh, sweet. Yeah, we had a raid. Oh, Jesse Mendez is here too. And Tony from View This. We had a raid from Ed, Flash in Your Pan. You've probably seen some of his stuff as well. He's only,
Yay, that's awesome.
yeah,
Hey,
he's only been on the show 9 times one-on-one, and then several panels. Ed by far has the record. David's not too far behind. I think David's up to 3 in a bunch of panels.
I think late night, my guy kind of, hops on every panel he can.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I can't thank you and or both of you for helping me get Michael Price on the show. That was awesome.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, happy to. And how nice is he? I mean, just a great guest and so open about everything that he does.
He really is. He really is. I had a great time. I hope he did too. I tried not to keep him too long.
No, he seemed to really be into it. So I think you did a great job with him.
Oh, thank you.
Great idea for him.
And David is signaling me from across the room that he says we have something else that he wants to talk to you about.
Oh, tonight or later?
Could be tonight.
Anytime. I have no idea. I don't know.
Another guest. We'll talk about it offline. Yeah.
Right? Oh, I know exactly who he's talking about. Oh my gosh, you need to have this person on your show. He will be a blast.
Sweet.
It's a musician, and he's super cool.
Oh, really? He's a musician?
I will tell you who it is.
Okay.
And you can just take it for what it is. But his name is Jim Peterick. He is the founding member of Survivor. And he has not just written Eye of the Tiger. He's written like every other song from the 80s that you know. He's an amazing guy.
One of those, yeah. Oh, that would be cool. And I would promise not to talk about Eye of the Tiger for half an hour.
Oh, no. He loves to talk about it. We actually just spent the weekend with him. And I know exactly why my guy is bringing him up, because we just we hung out with him. We had this whole thing with him last weekend, and he loves to talk about Eye of the Tiger. So.
Oh, well, cool. I don't know if I'll be able to come up with enough stuff for half an hour of Eye of the Tiger, but I'll give it the old college try. That's for sure. Outdoorsy gal. Her name's Chrissy. Wants to know, Juliet, what was your most embarrassing moment on camera?
Okay, I'll tell you my most embarrassing moment that was sort of on camera, and this is back when I lived in Los Angeles. And it was my first, huge professional job where I had to talk about music and I had to do, news and everything, and it was my first day on the job, and they're taking me for a tour of the studio. And it was the most professional studio I'd ever been in. It was beautiful, just state-of-the-art equipment. And about an hour before they took me on this tour, I had gone out to lunch at this really sketchy, kind of Los Angeles dive, and I had some sort of weird sandwich. It was a chicken salad sandwich, and you probably know where this is going by saying chicken salad.
I think so.
They're walking me through the studio, and I just start to feel that horrible rumble. just that, oh, this isn't good kind of rumble. And they're showing me where I'm going to be sitting, and they're showing me my monitors and everything, and just I couldn't contain myself, and I was so I was trying so hard to be professional. I'm wearing this little suit, a little skirt and heels and the little suit jacket and everything, and I'm trying so hard to excuse myself, and they kept talking to me, and I couldn't get away, and out of nowhere I threw up all over the set. Just projectile exorcist vomiting all over the set with the worst case of food poisoning I have ever had in my life.
Oh no.
Mortifying. I've never ever been more embarrassed than I was right then and there. It was horrible.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh God.
I mean, this was supposed to be my big break, and I'm just this little 20-something, on this set, my first big set, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, and just it was horrible.
Did it turn out okay though?
Well, I mean, it turned out okay for the moment. I was forgiven, and they're like, oh, it happens to everybody, and then 6 months later, I was laid off. So. Oh
well, yeah, that happens. Yeah. Thanks, Brad. He's pumping my merch. That's awesome.
Great.
I got my first Subscribe Star patron just yesterday.
Oh, well done.
That was awesome. But Life Trip Travels wants to know. She says, I recently had Ezra 7 bourbon or something like that. What do you think of Ezra or Ezra bourbon?
Ezra, I'm not sure if I'm familiar with that.
Easy A, or yeah, I've never heard of it myself.
I'm not sure if I know what that is. Is it from a specific region or area, or can you give a little bit more info about it? Maybe I've heard something about it.
Ezra Brooks, maybe?
Ezra Brooks.
Oh, and they do have Old Ezra 7-year barrel strength review. Old Ezra.
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I can actually comment on it specifically. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just don't know.
Okay. Well, it might be something you want to try. It looks like it's anywhere from 50 to 90 a bottle. Looks like prices vary considerably, but it sounds like it might be right in your wheelhouse.
Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll see what I can find. I'll do a tasting on it.
There you go, Life Trip Travels. You just influenced a bourbon review. Hell, I want to try it now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always up for new bourbon.
Do you find that the price in many ways dictates the quality?
Oh no, not at all.
Okay.
No, there are a lot of craft bourbons that are overpriced, and I understand why, because it takes a lot of work to make bourbon. It really does. I mean, just to, especially if you're going from grain to bottle, there's the whole science behind it and the aging and all of that. But even sourced bourbons can be a little bit overpriced. You get an older bourbon and they might finish it in a specific kind of barrel. So price does not dictate flavor at all.
Oh, good. Well, that's good to know, and I'm sure that that is information helpful for other budding bourbon drinkers.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, don't buy a $200 bottle of bourbon thinking it's going to be the greatest thing you've ever had. It may not be.
Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely. Perfect. Well, Juliet, I have another guest. And
Sure.
If you don't mind, can we have you back on the show sometime? Actually, you know what? No, you're not getting away that easy.
Well, you're keeping me here. I don't see zip ties.
Well, I have yet to do a deep dive with you.
It's true.
Are you ready for a deep dive?
What are you thinking here? I'm in. I'm up for anything.
Well, let's just do it then.
All right.
Deep dive.
Are you not familiar with the deep dive? Because it sounds like you're not familiar with the deep dive.
I've heard rumors, but bring it on. I'm up ready.
All right. In my hand, I have here a sheet with 5 questions chosen just for you. Now, you have to remember that there are no bad answers. They're just bad hosts and bad judges.
Okay.
But we're going to ask you these 5 questions to get to know more about you than maybe even your neighbor's cat. Are you ready?
I'm all ready. Bring it on.
All right, let's go.
Question 1.
This is easy. Remember, you can't fail this, and it's not a quiz. I've actually had people study like, oh man, what am I going to answer? All right, first question. What is your favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week?
Favorite day of the week.
I like Wednesdays.
Wednesday, hump day. Got to give you that one. Very well done.
It's the middle of the week. I'm halfway through outlining the podcast, and I know that coming up, I have my endpoint. So
there's a bit of relief, right?
Yeah.
See, I told you these questions aren't hard, but they may get harder as we go on. Are you ready?
Uh-oh. I'm ready. Bring it on.
Question 2.
All right. The nickname your parents used to call you when you were younger.
Squirrely.
Only you would know. See? You're 2 for 2 already.
Yeah, my mother used to call me Squirrely because I was just so cagey and uncontained and a little annoying.
Squirrely, that's cool. Now, how did you take that when you were a kid, though?
She still calls me that. I mean, even today, now when we, have sit down and have lunch, she still kind of slips in and calls me Squirrely, and I'm okay with it.
Oh, awesome. Because a lot of people don't like their childhood nicknames. Yeah, yeah.
This one's all right. I'm okay with it.
That's cool. That's cool. All right, let's go on to question 3.
Question 3.
Who was your first celebrity crush?
Davy Jones.
Oh man, are we talking about from the Monkees?
Jones, the Monkees. Yes, I
Yes.
used to watch their show. I suppose it was in reruns then, but Davy Jones was just the cutest, sweetest thing I'd ever seen, and I loved him.
You and millions more, I'm sure.
Oh, it's true. It's true. I did
Yeah.
a whole episode about it because he actually denied me a handshake once.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, yeah. I heard a tragic Davy Jones story.
Mm, mm. Is that in one of your podcasts?
It is, yeah,
See that?
yeah. It's kind of a long story, but
Okay.
it's sad now because he's no longer with us. But
Yeah, yeah.
nonetheless,
But it's still interesting. And now we've all got to go back into our catalog, guys.
we do.
All right. Question 4.
Question 4.
I still love those. I don't know why. All right. If you could travel back in time, what period would you go into?
Oh, the 20s in Paris
Oh,
with Ernest Hemingway and
no.
Gertrude Stein and
No. I'm sorry.
Fritz Perls. Oh, that's it. That's my time right there.
Well, the judges were looking for the 60s, of course.
No,
Free
no,
love.
no,
Oh,
no,
oh.
no, 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 no. I mean, they're fine, but what I like is just that creative boost that came out of the 20s where you've got so many great writers who are just starting to find their voices.
Yes. Yes.
Or there's this unbridled creativity that's coming from out of nowhere. Oh, the 20s, the 20s.
So many
And the
fedoras.
clothing.
Yes, I was just going to say, so many fedoras, so many pants pulled up way past their limit.
But it's beautiful and classic and respectful, and you just to be in Paris.
I'm not arguing with you. I actually think it would have been cool myself. All right, let's wrap this up.
All right.
Final question.
These are always the toughest for me to come up with, or I'm sorry, the judges to come up with. Who has it easier, men or women?
For women.
No, our pets.
Absolutely. I don't believe that women harness their true potential the way that they should, and I'm sure I will get dinged for this, but
No.
folks, a whole lot of power that I don't think people are harnessing properly.
I hear you loud and clear. I couldn't agree more. But the judges are the judges, and they said our family pets. They have it easiest. Who wouldn't want to have the life of a dog? Am I right? All right, Julie. See, you got through it, and you did really well. I think it was. I'm going to say 3.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah, very
I
good.
didn't
You was. My sound effects is too loud. What did you say?
I said I didn't cry. It's all good.
You didn't cry, and nobody got hurt. That's the important thing.
Nobody got hurt. No. I didn't swear or curse anybody out, so we're good.
Well, I'm happy. 'Cause I would have been the obvious target. Well, thanks so much for coming on, Juliet. I so appreciate it. Thanks to David as well for finally getting you on, and I couldn't have asked for a better evening.
Of course, I'm so happy to finally be talking to you, face to face, so to speak. This is
So to
amazing.
speak.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, you're welcome. We'll have you back on, I'm sure. Hope. Yeah, because as soon as I start watching more of your videos and listening to more of your podcasts, I'm going to have more questions.
Oh, you'll have more.
Absolutely. All right. Well, you guys have a good evening, and we'll get you on real soon again. Sound good?
All right.
All right.
Cheers,
Thanks.
y'all.
Cheers to you. Finally, after all this time, we had her on. I'm so happy. What a great gal. David, you did well, my friend. You did very well. All right. Let me see. Oh, very good. Thank you. And let me get this next guest, Vijay going. and unmute you. How are you this evening?
I'm good.
Hang on just a second there. I'm not even going to tell anybody who you are yet. Oh, man, I'm going to have to really shrink this font. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good. I know. It's been one of those nights. Absolutely. Okay. Oh, boy. Yeah, I got to really shrink that thing down. It's just so long, dude. Okay, there we go. There we go. How are you this evening?
I'm good. Good.
Good to see you on the show again, man.
Yeah, well, I wasn't, how do you follow that?
Oh, what a great gal. And what a great couple, right?
Absolutely.
God, yeah, but I've been wanting to talk to her forever, and you know that because you've seen me talk about it in the chat before, and finally did. And a woman after my own heart with the cigars and the bourbon and the stories and the videos, and yeah, what a great couple they are.
Fantastic.
But what's new in your world, my friend?
What's new in my world? Oh, nothing. Nothing. just trying to get stuff done.
Oh yeah.
So I have a request.
A request of me?
Because we missed your monologue today.
Ah, yes.
So, do you want to take this opportunity and give us your 2 to 3 minute monologue?
Sure, I absolutely will. I hate taking time from
I
you.
know you work on these, so
Yeah. And you know, it was funny too, because as soon as I realized that something was wrong, and then Juliet popped up, I whipped her him. All I really was talking about was jobs, love them, hate them, and I've done a whole lot of jobs. The reason I actually decided to put this show together was because I'm currently looking for more clients or a contract position somewhere, and I got to thinking, good Lord, I've just done so many different things. Um, for instance, before I was even legal to work, I was a gas station attendant for a very short time. That's back in the days where the bell rang and guys ran out, filled them up, and aired your tires up, checked your oil. And I also worked at a liquor store, which I've mentioned before, just stocking basically. But I must have been 14 years old. And then when I was legal to work, I was that shoe salesman at Kenny Shoes, that standalone shoe store, but only for about 6 months. I got tired of wearing a tie. Then I became a cook at Bonanza. Did you guys remember Bonanza? Do you remember Bonanza? Yeah. Great steaks, great potatoes. The rest of it was kind of crap. Uh, then I was a stock boy at Big E Foods, which doesn't even exist anymore in Indiana. I think they may have some stores up in Chicago. Couldn't be sure. And these might be out of order, but I was a cook at a little bar called Shallows, which was awesome because it was the 70s, and us pre-drinking age had some fun after hours. You know what I'm saying? The owners were real cool. Then I went in the military, and I was multi-channel communications equipment supervisor. Got out of the military, and I was a VCR technician for a short time because of my education. Patty remembers Bonanza and Kenny's shoes. Oh, let's see. From there, I went into consumer electronics repair. So I was working on just about every device that you have, everything from tube televisions to some of the earliest laptops. And then I went into broadcast television. I worked at two different stations. And I worked master control, which is the last switcher before it goes out to the transmitter. Production staff. I was also on the news staff. I was a staff engineer, and then I transitioned into being the web designer administrator for the local station, the local Fox station here. Did that for about I don't know, almost 2 years, and then I got pulled out by money. And in my monologue, I said, don't ever make a move for money. Make sure that you're going to enjoy the job. It was still web design. I was the web design director for a local hospital, but I just hated where I was at. And then I went off and became an independent consultant doing that same thing, from web design, web development, moved into web marketing. I was a creative director for a while, doing a lot of SEO and that sort of thing. Built the studio downtown and managed it for a couple years before they ran out of money. So I was a studio director, and I also got some since I did the build out. Am I boring you yet, Adam?
No, you're good.
Okay, because I'm just rambling now.
I listen for a living.
I'm almost done. I'm almost done. Well, I actually got involved in that firm that had the studio, that wanted to build a studio, as a pay-per-click manager, right? So I was managing all of their clients' pay-per-click accounts. And when they moved downtown, they didn't have a general contractor. So I became the general coordinator because you need a license in Indiana, and did the entire build out of the first floor of this building. And then I hand built the studio because I had my own specs and nobody else seemed to get it. And man, I tell you what, you'd walk into that place even today. They're still muddling along, but you could drop a pin on a glass plate and hear it like it was right next to your ear. But anyway, I got some drafting jobs out of it as well, because a lot of that is drafting your elevations and taking them down and getting your build permits and that sort of thing. And after I left the studio, I became yet again a digital marketing and e-commerce consultant for clients, and I actually added YouTuber to that. Even though I'm not to the point of paying taxes, I have made money being a YouTuber. So there you have it. There is my work history. If isn't that awful? That's just so many different jobs.
No, it's not awful. It's awesome.
And I forgot real estate agent again because I didn't have it written down. I was a real estate agent for a short time. Sold about 5-6 houses.
Is that a license in your state?
Yeah. Yep. Sure is.
That's
sure
a
is.
pain in the butt.
Oh, it is. It really is a pain in the butt. And I really liked it, except that I'm not that guy that's going to put his face out in somebody's front lawn. Buy from Jim. So what I really want
says the guy on YouTube.
Says the guy on YouTube making funny faces in his thumbnails. Good point, my friend. Good point. But I don't know. I don't have to sell myself directly, so I wasn't comfortable with that sort of push, because you just got to be on that shit all day long.
I'll see Jim.
Yeah. There's my new thumbnail. But so I wanted to get into commercial real estate is what I wanted to, because I dabbled into some investments, and the only reason I became a real estate agent was to learn that other side. But I actually did sell some and bought some houses for some folks, which was awesome. Oh man, Wisco just hit 2K. Just hit 2K. Congratulations, Jared. Congratulations, man.
700 just yesterday.
I know. It's just an unbelievable blow up, dude.
How's his Donald Trump video doing? Can you ask? I can't see chat because I'm on my phone.
Oh yeah, I'll call it out.
Funny.
It is. It's a great video. That's why I told everybody to go check it out, because and I even tweeted out and I tagged the president on it. I don't think I was the only one. I think there were more that did that same thing. So let's see. It's at 500 already.
Yeah,
that's 490. That's nuts, dude. That's nuts. Hey, Wisco, I'm going to ask you, move the guest cuts up top, dude. I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding. They're actually pulling in some good numbers comparatively, which is awesome.
That's good for everybody.
Oh yeah. Well, I couldn't be happier for him, man, because I think he's great on camera. I really do.
It's so cool watching it happen.
Mm-hmm.
Watching it happen. All those, you watch all those videos and they're like, oh, this is how you rub the algorithm. He's doing it. He's absolutely, those are genuine subs. It's fantastic to watch.
Oh yeah, and he's getting comments. He's getting honest comments. Yeah. None of that stop by from this other live stream sort of stuff. And yeah, it's just so cool to watch it happen. And he's so uniform now in his thumbnails. So he's immediately recognizable when you do a search. And I'll take a bit of credit for that, because we talked about it. He went from that white background to the gold. and it's look at all of his videos are mid 3 digits now. Seems like, except for the beer spotlights. That kind of surprises me. You know,
It's because they probably are tagged differently than
Yeah.
the lifestyle ones.
that's true. Rent Grown, welcome to the show. And you're right. I have a face that is. I don't have a face for bus benches and shopping carts and billboards. I have a face for YouTube, my own little corner of YouTube. Oh man, she's so right. Is it, you see those faces and it's like, no, I'm not near that good looking. Nobody's going to want to buy a house from this mug. Oh, who's leaving? Jersey History Hunters. Welcome to the show. And I'm sorry I didn't see you jump in.
I scared them away.
No, you didn't scare them away. They probably been in for a while. You know how it is. Oh, and Arthur Moorhead's here. Dang, guys, I'm sorry. You know how it is, though. You get with a guest, and I'm like focused, thinking of questions, and it's like, okay, I see that shit going by. Oh, there's a red one.
I know most of the people don't mind.
I hope not.
I can't speak for everybody, but
Let's see. What is Drone King saying? Good script writers, video calling show, West Coast style crap, and view this.
I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't either. I
have not helped Jared on any of his videos ever.
Well, you know what kind of ticks me off, Jared, and thank you for that. But he says that thumbnails were all my idea. Well, that's not true. The video that blew up, you left white, and it's the one that took off. And I've been beating myself up for that ever since. But no, the other ones are doing really well. And I love them too, because I just did a search today on Wisconsin, and you're in a lot of those replies, which is fantastic for a single keyword search, because that still does happen. But the contacts help. Oh, thanks. Yeah, see, and I didn't even wear glasses when I was a realtor, so, and I was younger, so there were less wrinkles. It's all a rich tapestry, Claire. You're not going to get me on a billboard. Oh, and I had bad teeth. I know most people have bad teeth, but I didn't have braces until I was in my late 40s. I don't know. Most people don't know that.
I had adult braces.
Did you really? Awesome, dude. How old
Yeah.
were you? Of course, you're probably still in your early 40s?
I'm 42.
Okay.
And I think I had them when I was like 37.
Oh, wow.
It was just a couple years ago. Yeah.
Cool. So brothers in arms, man. Oh, tell me about it. It was awful. And it seemed like I had to have them longer than my kid.
Yeah. And it was good for weight loss, though.
Yes, it was great for weight loss. Absolutely. Do you still wear your retainer?
I do.
Do you?
I have to. Yeah.
Oh, you're a better man than I am. I don't wear mine, but they're still good. If you'd seen my teeth beforehand, they're still kind of hanging in there. I got that awful retainer. That's the thing. My lower teeth weren't that bad, and they got the retainer in there, and it collects everything, even stuff I didn't eat. I don't know how it does that. Hate that thing. Oh, Brandon B, I didn't say hello to you, buddy. Welcome.
Hey, Brandon.
So there's my job history. Is yours as vast, Adam?
I sort of. Yeah, I've had a lot of jobs.
You don't have to go in detail.
As a kid, I worked summer camps a lot through the Boys and Girls Clubs of Western Pennsylvania. And then I also worked at a bakery that was like locally owned, and was a door hanger for Domino's. And that was a bad job. And I worked for 3 months in a Mrs. Fields in a mall, and that was the worst.
Oh, I bet.
The mall was, I hated that job. And then I kind of started on my professional career and worked in a residential treatment facility for kids, which is basically uh, it's akin to an orphanage.
Oh, really?
What we would have for that, but you also have to have behavior problems. Those kids were really, really sick. We'd have to like hold them on the ground and stuff
Oh,
to get them
wow.
calmed down, like pretty serious stuff. I went and worked for Big Brothers Big Sisters. I did case management with adults coming out of the state hospitals.
Oh, wow.
We only have a handful of them in Pennsylvania. And my caseload was all like guys with schizophrenia coming out of the state hospital. So they had done some pretty bad things in their past.
Oh, man.
And now I just recently started, well, for 4 years I did in-home therapy with kids and their families, trying to address the issues that would get the kids into the RTF. So trying to protect them from my old job, going into my old job.
Oh, wow.
And I was recently promoted. So now I supervise therapists going into people's homes.
Well, congratulations.
With those kids. So, yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it's cool. I've got my master's degree in mental health counseling. And, you know, since I went to the Bradley Center, which is the RTF, it kind of just made sense for me to go to school and finish all. So I did schooling late, but I was invested in what I wanted to do. It was where I wanted to be, so it made sense. And just recently got my license from the state of Pennsylvania, so I understand licensing issues because it was
Oh, man.
traumatic.
Freaking brutal, isn't it? Well, I'm sure yours carried a lot more weight than a real estate test.
Yeah,
But
so, yeah, you have to start with your master's degree,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you have to have 3,000 hours over 2 years of supervised experience.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Almost
And-
like being an intern.
And so, like, I was really stupid because I could have just gone and gotten my MBA. I would have made more money to start coming out, and I would have had less master's level credits. So if you're thinking about getting a master's in therapy, do something else. You're probably better off trying YouTube.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
where I'm at right
That puts it in perspective, dude. Well, my hat's off to you, man. That can't be an easy job. I've got a daughter-in-law who works a lot of with a lot of foster kids and
Yeah,
parents
yeah,
and it's
now. Foster homes a lot.
that's tough work, man, because you can't help but bring it home. You just can't.
No, it
Am I
doesn't
right?
leave.
Yeah, you
No,
can't
it
walk
doesn't.
away from that sort of thing.
No.
Wow.
No.
Oh, Dangerous Criminals. She's gonna take off. We'll talk to you later, hon. Thanks for being here. And also
See you
missed,
later, dangerous criminals.
yeah, I also missed Ronnie G Positive Vibes. How are you doing? And
Hey,
Andy from We Dig Metal Detecting. Welcome to the show, my friend. Have I missed anyone else? April and Fam, how you doing? Thanks for being here. If I missed you, say something to me, tag me, and let me know. Oh yeah, and Wisco says I thought engineering was hard, dude. The social services, and I guess you would be considered social services, wouldn't you, Adam? Yeah, that is brutal work, brutal work. But it's got to be rewarding too. I mean, right? Sometimes you have some
yeah.
cases that are just like, yes,
If you don't find those positives, you don't last.
yeah, yep.
You just don't. Turnover is really, really high. In fact, our office is struggling a little bit right now. We went from having our therapists work in teams to avoid problems,
Mhm.
which I think is a really good part of our model. And we went from 10 teams to 9 recently just because we can't staff it. We have the kids, so we have referrals coming in,
Uh-huh.
and we have the clientele, but we can't staff it because nobody in the business pays.
Oh wow. Well, that sucks.
So yeah.
Well, hey, Rich Grown, can't wait to be a foster mom. I got my first emergency
that's
placement.
awesome.
Yeah,
Great to hear.
got my
We
first.
need good foster moms. Every state, every county.
Yes,
in
indeed.
foster.
She said, I got my first emergency placement when I was 23. He's aged out now, but it hooked me. I have so much love for people, and I just want to be stability. I have so
Yes,
much love
that's
for
what they
people.
need. Oh, that's
Yeah,
so awesome.
yeah.
That warms my heart, truly.
Oh yeah, I have such fondness for people who do what and admiration too, dude, because I know I couldn't do it. I know I couldn't do it. And not from a I hate kids sort of thing because I love kids and people, but I don't know that that I'd be able to deal with it as well as a lot of people can, right?
Yeah, no, it's really really hard.
Yeah.
These kids come from really really bad situations. You read these charts as they're coming in, and you're yeah, it's tough.
Yeah.
But um, somebody needs to be there for them, and that's how I always look at it. Like we're it for our 8 months, for our 8 month term, and I work very hard to get our therapists now kind of in that direction. Like we can help this family, our model can help this family, and let's get them there as best as we can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Our families will sabotage themselves for sure, but
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
but we always put our best foot forward and try to. I particularly love our model because I always hear like, well, it's not the kids, it's the parents. That's right. That's our money. That's right where we go in at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We meet with the parents and say, you guys are the solution to the problem here.
Yeah.
Let's help you get.
Yeah, because outside of disease or deformity, the child's a blank slate, right? And yeah, it is up to the adults in the room to make that happen. My son, Champworks Garage, says that she has definitely learned how to handle the job. I was just talking about my daughter-in-law, which is fantastic, and I have to imagine that involves finding some way to, I wouldn't say blow off steam, but a diversion or something that puts you in your happy place when you're not on the job. What do you do, Adam?
I edit YouTube videos, or I play video games. When I'm really stressed, when things are really bad, I tend to play more video games because editing, as we all know, comes with its own stresses.
Oh boy, does it ever.
So if there's a big gap between when our last video went out, things might be stressful at work.
Oh,
Just saying.
Yeah, you can't take it to both places, man. You know that. Hey, we got the Crohn's chick in here. How you doing, hon? And
This is right up Crohn's chick salad.
yeah, we're just on her show this morning. I couldn't stay. I had to power wash the deck, but I'm going to get on one of those panels for her, and you should too, man. You probably got a lot to offer from that side, dude. Seriously.
Yeah, I worry about overstepping with that kind of stuff. It's really hard when people find out you're a therapist.
Oh, they would. Yeah.
They want advice.
You're right.
I don't give advice. I'm really trying to assist. So that makes it really hard. That's why I love people like that Crohn's chick, because I think that's where some of that comes from. And I saw her yesterday when she was on your show trying to avoid giving too much advice and really kind of presenting facts instead. These are things that are actually helpful. Look into them for yourselves.
Yeah.
So
yeah, facts and resources for more information and help. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's being very smart about that. I agree. And Claire says, it blows my mind. They gave me the 17-year-old boy when I was just 23, but I'm so glad that I was able to be there for him. We only got him because my boyfriend was his cousin. Oh, very cool.
Wow.
Very cool. If you don't mind telling us, Claire, how is he now? How's he doing today? I'd love to hear that. Let's see. Oh, okay. And James Champworks Garage says her last job with the state was the one that had her the most emotional effect on her. Much better place now. Yeah. She's in a little more structured environment. You know how the state can be pretty disorganized, I'll say, or
our county's CYF right now is a hot mess. They're hurting for more staff than we are, so their families aren't getting served properly. Oh.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Now I need to go play a video game.
Sorry, dude, but
No.
this was jobs night. You kind of brought it on yourself. Oh, all you have to do is love people. Just love them where they are. Love them anyway. If you approach
Meet them
everything,
where they are.
yeah.
Yep.
Claire, you got a big heart, hon. Got a big heart.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I got to see one of her latest videos and got to see her her beau for the first time. They were sitting on the couch talking about seeds that they were going to plant. Looks like a great guy. He said a few things, not as much as Claire did, but you know, I think Claire is more the video gal. But yeah, seems like a great guy. You guys should come on as a couple sometime, Claire.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about that experience she had, you know? I love hearing stories like that.
Yeah.
What was your worst case ever, Adam? Wait a minute, wait. Can I say let's go to the happy place first. What is your greatest success story that you would say?
You know, I'm gonna humble brag here.
Please do.
My partner and I got very lucky and had the same partner for 4 years. And he got very lucky because I didn't quit. You know, even when things were stressful, because we're working evenings when my kids are home. And we had a ton of successes. We had some really, really tough families. We had a 14-year-old girl who was she was suicidal when we picked her up. She had 2 suicide attempts when we had her and when we left her. It was the best space that she had been in. Our service goes for 8 months, and we had extended her by 4, so we had her for a full year. And by the time the year was over, she was doing so much better. Was she cured? No. That's not our job, but we had her in a place where she wasn't utilizing the hospital, where she wasn't utilizing pills to cope, and she had a better relationship with her mom, and that was tremendous. That some of our cases, you'll just see growth like in the last month or two.
Mm-hmm.
You'll finally snap into it, but this was one that you really could see how she was getting better throughout treatment. So we use it as a poster child all of the time. It was really fantastic.
Oh, very cool. No longer suicidal?
No,
Oh.
she hadn't utilized the hospital. She hadn't called her mom, and you know, just doing much, much better.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. I'm not even going to ask you the other one. 'Cause,
I do not want to bring everybody down. They are
yeah.
bad ones are bad.
I can imagine they are. I've heard the stories from, well, my daughter-in-law, and it's you know, it's usually a lot of it is in her world is drug induced, alcohol and drug induced, and just a really, really bad situation for the kid, and you know, my heart just goes out to him.
When that happens, it leads to neglect, and neglect leads to young kids getting into really just the stuff you see on the news.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, and it's
so sad. So sad. Chrissy asks me if she says, I always wondered, do you go back and reread the comments left in the chat after a show? Chrissy, what I actually do is during the show, I'm flipping up and down and all around trying to catch as many as I can. And of course, you know, when you tag me, I get to see it right away. So I zero in on those. But I don't literally go back through the comments unless I watch the video again. Then I'll watch the chat as the video's going, because I've seen me before. But that's about as far as that goes. And I don't watch a lot of my videos. I got to be honest with you. I just don't.
I like to watch my videos because I'm not in them.
There you go. There you
I have
go.
to get to it.
Yeah, and you have to. Sometimes I have to watch the guest cuts to make sure that I got everything I wanted to get. You know, like Angel, he was on last week, or it was last week, and I went to edit his, and we were waiting to go, you know, to raid Magic Jones.
Yeah.
Well, there's big stretches in there where I'm just going, oh, come on, Magic, go live, because it took him a hell of a long time to go live. I had to edit all those out, but I went back and watched it just to make sure I got all my edits right. Thank you, Ed. And you had a great show too, man. I was only able to lurk. I was doing some work while you were on. But oh yeah, let's see. That's great. You got to get mean with life. Get tired of the bullshit it puts you through. Know what I mean? Yeah. I do know what you mean, Arthur. I do know what you mean. Oh man, what a night. Um I'm so tired now. That whole thing, yeah, that whole thing not going live when I when YouTube told me I was live has just put me off my game, it seems like.
Yeah, I was trying to help you bring it back a little bit.
Well, thanks, man. And you and Juliet both did. I appreciate that. Oh, and Tim wants to know if I edited the fight scene out. No, that was Friday. I think Angel was on Thursday. And I haven't even gone through the fight scene yet. Did you watch that, Adam? I can't remember if you were on or not.
I was on.
Yeah, you were on?
I was tricks.
Oh, yes, you were. Yeah, the chalkboard. Chalkboard. Yeah, I'm thinking of breaking that out somehow. I don't know. Maybe I'll just take all my Friday panel shows and just put a whole group of clips together and see how that works. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Nobody got hurt, so I don't I don't think it's out of bounds, but somebody will get a kick out of it.
So here's a question for you, Jim, before you get off. When you are looking at your videos, do you get screen grabs of everything, or do you just get what you send to YouTube?
Oh, you mean when I look at them, or when we're like right now, am I recording
you
it?
Get everything that you can see from Zoom, because like if I swap through Zoom, I can see different versions of it.
Oh, no, like
So you don't screen grab all of that.
I don't screen grab. Program out is all I do is I download it from YouTube. It's high quality enough, really. So I don't worry about that too much. Otherwise, I would record it, and I could record the Zoom feed as a separate source, and I could actually edit from there if I wanted to. I've had to do that a lot. When something goes haywire, I always like to have a backup plan, and if I've got footage that I can go to, let's say the Zoom freezes for some weird reason, then I can always go. I have some place to go in the editing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but no, I just download it, and then I use that video as my
and then cut that up.
Yeah, then cut that up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep. It really keeps it easy for me, and this, how time consuming this can be, especially when you're doing it every night. And I try to streamline it as much as possible, which is why I sat and I had you wait while I did your lower third, dude, because otherwise I'd have to go in the editing program, lay it out, move it where it's supposed to be, cut it where it's, that's just a pain in the ass. This is live switching. And that's
yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Yeah, it makes it so much easier. What's that, Tony? You can put the story in there.
I'll flip it to CMDMMW for you.
Oh yeah.
It'll fit.
That's what I should have done. But I want everybody to see. It's crap. My deck makes me watch. Oh, Tony just gave me that's what he's saying. He said I can put the story in there. Tony, you're gonna have to be a little more specific. Which story? Now, see what I'll do for Tony is I might break that one out and just do a whole series on story time with Tony. Complete with an open and a close. I just thought that up. Thanks, Tony. And now, story time with Tony. That'd be great. I'm having fun with you, man, because I love your stories, Tony. You know that. They
are great stories.
They are. Well, did we do a deep dive with you last time, Adam? I think we did, didn't we?
Did.
Okay. Next time I have you on, I'll deep dive again, because life will have moved on a little bit, and there's more that we need to know about you. Sound good?
I don't think there is now.
Oh, there's always stuff,
you got my
dude.
YouTube stuff. You got my professional stuff.
Yep, but there's still always skeletons, man. Everybody has skeletons. It's my job to get those skeletons out of the closet.
All right, Jim. I'm going to sign off now and let you close up. And thanks for talking with me today. I appreciate it. And,
thanks for jumping on, man.
And if Juliet and David, the producer, are still around, I'm sorry for crashing your show.
Oh no, not at all, not at all. They understand. They, she was on for a good half hour, 45 minutes. So we're all good, dude. We're all good. Well,
All
Adam,
right, guys.
have a good evening, man. We'll talk to you real soon.
Bye, Jack. Bye, Jim.
Bye, buddy. All right, folks. He's right. It's time to call it a night. Stop it, Bob. No Daisy Duke shorts. I would just cut those out and use those as an icon for you. I'll just have them in the lower, or maybe the upper left-hand screen or something. Renter Grove. Sorry I'm late. Always late, but thanks for coming on. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome, Claire. Thank you for actually coming to watch me muddle along on these interviews and stuff. It's the people that I have on, which are the fun part about this, not this guy. So thank you guys. All right, folks, I'm gonna call it a night. Again, go check out that Wisco if Donald Trump was from Wisconsin video. It's awesome. I've been looking at Drone Kings from Darwin. Thank you. And some of his videos, and I'm blown away by the editing on that. So go check those out as well. Tony is coming out with a new series. What a Crohn's chick. Yeah, check out Tony's. He's got some live stream series out there. Sharni from the Crohn's chick is going live every day now. You guys got anything special going on? Let me know and I'll shout it out. Because it's a lot of fun for me to go and watch you guys create. So, having said all that, I hope I didn't do too much damage to myself. But listen, folks, I'm gonna go. Thanks again to my guests, and thanks to all of you in the chat for your wonderful conversation and questions for the guests. Thank you, folks, for watching after this has been processed. I appreciate that. If this is kind of content that you're into, make sure you subscribe. The button's right there in the middle. And for the rest of you, make sure, or actually for all of you, make sure you treat others the way you want to be treated. If we all did that, this world would be a fantastic place. With that, I bid you farewell, and we will see you live.